welcome to Softcore History. My name's Jake Goldman. I'm joined as always by Dan Regester and Rob Fox. How's it going today, boys?
God, you couldn't even flip the switch to start the show.
I'm sorry.
The fuck?
Just zero energy off the bat. I'm riding high. Rob's coming in a good mood. You have COVID, I think.
I've tested negative.
Why are you still testing?
Because
don't worry, guys. Before the show, he spit in both of our mouths.
yeah, that's right.
Yep.
That's the real. That's how I test for COVID. If they get horribly sick, then I'll know.
You do sound like shit.
I know.
Like, you sound like fucking dog shit.
I
I've
know
been
it's
talking
not-
to that microphone later.
It's not
For
good.
a Patreon
Thank God
episode.
this isn't my week.
We'll switch the condoms on the mic.
Yeah.
Okay.
You
Yeah, we'll
might
switch-
honestly want to do that.
Yeah, we'll switch the mic condoms.
It'll only make me stronger. I've
Yeah.
contracted COVID like 4 times,
Will it have? How?
and I've only increased my bench since. I don't know if there's a connection to that.
Oh, maybe I'll try it. Maybe I'll try bench pressing, and maybe it's better.
Incline only.
Oh, I got it.
I don't do flat because
Oh.
I'm old.
Yeah, that makes sense.
At your funeral, I'm going to be like, some say Dan's heart grew 4 sizes that day. And it did. The COVID gave him myocarditis, and he was not long for this world from there.
He collapsed on that Lifetime Fitness basketball court.
Trying to prove to him. Actually, no, you'd be bench. Ironically, would be you'd be benching, and your heart just explodes.
And he drops it on his neck.
Yeah.
Actually, no, it's inclined, so he wouldn't drop it on his neck.
Just the top of my chest.
Just the top of his, it just crushed his big heart.
Yeah.
Who was the USC running back in the day that dropped it on his neck, like Johnson or whatever?
I don't even know.
Man, I forget. Yeah.
That's pretty funny, though.
Almost died.
Yeah, it almost decapitated him.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really bad. But yeah,
Be stronger.
for those
That
of you,
happened to him in the weight room, so it didn't happen to him on the field.
that's right. He never got crushed in the neck by another player.
Yep.
That's for sure.
Smart.
Yeah, so for those of you that don't listen to the Patreon, you should go to
Patreon.com/softcorehistory.
Yeah.
2 additional episodes every week. 1, a normal episode just like this, and another that drops on Friday, either a voicemail, like user, kind of interactive episode,
Yeah.
or a watch along.
I found some great old instructional videos for us to watch along to. One of them is just like how to make a sandwich, and it's like a woman in a kitchen.
No way.
Yeah. I mean, it's just like it's so
How's the
on
technique?
it's so on the nose.
Is it good though? Like, is it
I don't want to ruin it. I
Good
want to react
advice?
live. I just saw the still in the title. You know what I mean? Like, but it's that we watch like that type of shit. We've done like duck and cover.
Duck and cover.
We did do like an entire hour and a half of just nuclear war PSAs.
Yeah.
It's true. We did. But today, I'm back from Maine. By the way, if you only listen to the Maine, I'm back from Maine.
Mm-hmm.
Brought with me some fun stuff. And I'm not going to talk about Maine at all. Today we're talking about stick fighting.
Stick fighting?
Stick fighting. Good
Sounds like you
old-fashioned.
brought back Maine with you.
I brought it back. Yeah.
Yeah.
In a way, yeah.
yeah.
You're just like a weathered old lobster fisherman now.
I'm a longshoreman now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You should have dressed like
I got a
it.
crab on my head.
You are wearing a crab on your
That was
head.
always
Yup.
my backup plan.
A longshoreman?
Just kind of work on a boat.
It's kind of like a waterman.
I mean, you have a boat face.
Oh, boat face.
Bodie McBoat face.
Yeah.
Bodie McBoat face over here.
You got a boatman's face. You know what I mean?
I take that as a compliment, actually.
Actually, you
You
know,
can take it however you want. It's a fact.
there's some poor girl waiting by the coastline every night. Just I hope he gets home safe.
Yeah, hoping that the lighthouse finally spots his ship. It's long gone.
It's gone. It's washed out.
Yeah,
The light in my eyes is.
that too.
Well, let's get right to it. Beginning in the late 1300s and lasting until the early 1700s. So,
Oh, I thought this was going to be like Appalachian stick fight.
no,
All
it's
right.
way more cultured, actually.
It's Swiss stick fight.
Close. Very close. Mock battles consisting of mobs of working men with shields and helmets would take place in the streets of Venice.
Sweet.
The
So,
Met-
I'm sorry, they're just LARPers.
I don't think you can LARP in the 1500s. I think you just are that.
You can LARP at any time.
I guess, yeah, if it is a mock battle, it is a LARP.
There was in college, there used to be this bar. I think it's an apartment complex like everything else now, but it's like diagonal from this park that these dudes used to LARP in, and we would just sit on the patio and watch them medieval fight for like
Lightning bolt.
hours.
Do they
Because
have
you're
magic?
a coward, that's why.
Yeah, why didn't you put on a phone
Join
helmet?
in.
I wanted to, but I was afraid of being mocked, and so I sat there and was like, "Yeah, they're stupid."
Well, no
well,
one's...
I silently critiqued all of their moves, and
Do they have magic moves?
no, it was I think it was straight up.
That's cool. You know, you could actually like go sword fight somewhere around town. Like they have a sword fighting league, like medieval style. You put on chainmail and like knight's armor.
You can also beat the shit out of somebody with a keyboard in Silicon Valley.
What?
Yeah, they have those like fight clubs with just desk and office.
It's just in an office.
Yeah, supplies.
All right.
That's on point. That sounds about right. But yeah, these men would beat the shit out of each other, not with their fists, with wooden sticks, oftentimes for hours on end. While the battles may seem like silly pastimes similar to English medieval football, they were anything but.
They were just bottle rocket fights.
Men were routinely injured, with broken bones and disfigurement being a common occurrence. While more rare, many participants were inevitably killed during these fights.
Dude, all right. Obviously, the death would have to be curbed, but can you imagine if this and not football, or this and football had, like, caught on, and you just have, like, you know, obviously the tactics and weaponry become outdated as, like, gunpowder becomes more prevalent like that, but you just still had, like, a league where, you know, like 1,000 guys on each side had a medieval battle. And it's like the Orlando Knights.
Perhaps you combine football with stick fighting, and you get Adrian Peterson.
True.
Is the opponent the kids?
A child.
Adrian Peterson versus 100 misbehaving children.
Pick your switch. Go outside, pick them switches. Anyway, the first official record of these Venetian stick battles dates back to 1369. The author stated that the fights are not lowly things of little importance, but of the highest consideration in Venice. In 1421, the fights evolved, and they moved from streets and fields to take place in a more specific venue. They solely took place on bridges in Venice.
That's pretty sweet.
It's tight. They would just have giant stick fights on the bridges of Venice over the canals.
Dude, that's fucking dope. So it's essentially just like two like columns of men meeting on a bridge, just beating the crap out of each other, throwing them you're eating other guys off the bridge and shit.
Yep.
I would watch the fuck out of that.
It's the sport I didn't know I needed to see.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so once on the bridges, these fights became much more of a spectator sport. People from around Venice would gather at bridges where fights would take place and became such a point of pride that the Venetian government arranged them for honored guests. But, you know, like a lot of people outside of Venice didn't really know what to make of them. Right. They were like, what the fuck?
Is there a battle going on?
Rob, you yourself can participate in these today.
Where?
Soccer hooligans.
It's not the same. Because they just, you know, I want like a organized army, not like a Green Street hooligan situation.
Oh.
I want to be a part of a phalanx.
Yeah.
Not
I imagine
a lot
it's hard
of
to do a
organization at a tavern.
It's going to be hard to do a phalanx on a bridge, right?
No, it'd be seemingly pretty
Actually,
easy.
because you're in a column.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a forced
You got to
column,
hold
too.
rank. And that really is all it is. Like and that's how old battles with sword and shield were basically where it was like there wasn't much killing until somebody broke rank.
Yeah.
And then the fucking floodgates opened.
Well, in 1574, a bridge battle conducted by 600 Venetian artisans was arranged for the French king Henry III.
Isn't that kind of like what slap fighting is? You and your boys just kind of like, until somebody lands that really good shot,
Yeah.
then it turns into a real fight.
Yeah, and then you're just throwing fists at that point.
Right. I guarantee you this fight starts out, they're trying to hit like these guys like knuckles and shins, like shit that hurts, but it just hurts, right? It hurts like a bitch, and then they can be like, fuck, and you throw them over the bridge. But eventually, you get a shot that pisses you off so bad that you just start swinging for the eyes. You know what I mean?
We'll actually talk about that in a moment. That does happen a lot. However, when Henry III, the King of France, saw this, he reportedly complained about the event. He was like, it's too small to be a real battle, and it's too cruel to be a game. I don't know what this is.
This man is wrong about the latter.
Yeah. No, I agree.
I guarantee you there's less CTE than an NFL game today.
Oh, for this?
Yeah.
In the initial form, probably.
Certainly boxing.
Yeah.
It's funny you mention boxing. We'll get to that later. During the 1500s...
Just a whole group, an entire army of Parkinsons.
It's just zombies, really. If you think about it, it's just slowly shaking.
That's the old stick fighting district.
Yeah.
You don't want to go down there. It's pretty sad.
Don't want to go down that road.
Yeah, you don't.
During the 1500s and 1600s, the spectacles grew in significance. Several times a year, Venetian workers and tradesmen would gather on particular Sundays or holiday afternoons to fight for possession of a bridge. So this was all about bragging rights on who owned what bridge amongst different factions.
Would they like take taxes on it?
Nope.
It was just like, it's my bridge.
Yep.
Oh, so it's like a gang.
It's a turf war.
It's like a gang where it's like, this is our block. And it's like, well, no, that's the city of Los Angeles' block. And if they wanted to, they could clear it out.
Well, it's not even that. It's just like, we won that bridge. They don't like own the turf. They don't charge a fare or anything. It's just like, we won that bridge.
Okay, so the bridge is like a trophy.
It's
God
basically
damn
a
it,
belt.
the ballers are attacking the bridge again.
Getting the baller alert. It's what was it? The ballers and the was it Vatos?
The Vatos.
Yeah. Good game. San Andreas.
Grove Street, baby.
Such prearranged battles would take several forms, from individual duels and small-scale brawls for a few hundred or thousand onlookers to enormous ones prepared days in advance and held for hours in front of tens of thousands of spectators. Basically, if there was a fight that was planned a couple days in advance, almost the entire city of Venice was going to watch it.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
Yeah.
It's like a college town. It all shuts down for the game.
Exactly. No, I mean, it's very college football-esque.
Yeah.
So they were waged by all types of citizens, but for the most part, the fights were largely civil. However, these battles were not just limited to Venice. From as early as the 10th century, in many Italian communities, rival bands of youth were known to battle in open fields using fists, stones, or wooden swords and shields. Venice just did the bridge thing because Venice has bridges.
But was Venice the most organized?
Yes,
Okay.
by far. Like, everyone had mock fights. Everyone had mock fights outside of the like chivalrous tournament kind of style stuff.
Yeah.
Like, everyone still wanted to fight too, but Venice just was like, our thing's bridges now.
Yeah, they got the sponsorships, right? The Venetian banks.
It's true. God damn, dude. I just want to go to this. I want to be a commander in one of it. You know what I mean? Just send in the second platoon, flank.
Yeah,
Oh,
be fun.
Amazing.
Fake war. It's fun as hell.
I mean, I love paintball.
Yeah.
Don't play it very often. But when I say paintball, I mean like in the woods. I don't like that speedball shit where you just run around behind balloons or whatever, little inflatable things.
Yeah, it's lame.
That's kind of lame.
One professor of Renaissance Italian history tells us that such pretend wars between just normal everyday fighters were so common that many people generally owned sticks and rocks and protective shields and helmets and armor. Like, most people just had their, like, oh, that's my, like, rec league stick and armor.
It's like a pair of golf clubs you have.
Yeah.
You don't even use it that much, but you're just like, yeah, so there's my golf clubs.
Yeah, exactly. Everyone had, like, a fighting stick and a helmet.
I'm not wearing hockey pads.
The reason a lot of these took place in Venice specifically was that in medieval Venice, chivalric tournaments were far less common because of where they were and conducted mostly by professional soldiers rather than Venetians. So the bridge battles allowed the Venetians the opportunity to appraise the prowess of their own troops and reward the skillful fighters as well.
Also, imagine you're like, God, that's a hard city to conquer if your main sport
Is fighting with sticks? Is
like
war?
fake swords. Yeah.
Yeah, is fake war. Yeah, definitely. In 1458, the Venetian commander Bartolomeo Caglione had a tournament battle between two squadrons of 70 men-at-arms fought with full weapons. The contest was for possession of a small wooden castle erected outside the Doge's palace.
Wait, full weapon? What?
Yeah, they did. This one commander, got all the best people from all the stick fighting factions.
Yeah.
It was like, whoever wins, you get a castle.
No, but I mean like swords and shit?
Yeah.
Like metal swords.
Yeah, basically. They weren't supposed to kill each other,
Okay.
but it was who could take the bridge, basically. And whoever took this bridge in particular got a wooden castle.
Sweet.
I don't know. This kind of sounds like a bunch of bitches compared to the Scots. We've
Okay.
talked about it. The 30-on-30 like MMA battles that they would have until the death.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that was
Just on the Highlands.
These
These
are
people
Italians.
are civilized.
Right, the Scots aren't. You're
The
right.
Scots are,
Yeah.
and I say
They're
this
mud
as
people.
as an Irish person that's basically the same thing. Mud people at that point in history.
Yeah, so originally the Venetian bridge fights were waged with sharpened sticks or canes from local lagoons. So they'd go pull, like, I guess, sugar cane or, like, root cane or whatever.
Yeah.
So big, thick sticks.
I don't know whatever cane grows in Italy.
There's sugarcane and
No.
No, yeah. Whatever.
No, it's just some kind of reed.
Yeah, some kind of thick reed. The
a
sticks,
kendo stick.
pretty much. They called them India sticks.
Just
basically.
Tommy Dreamer hitting you over the head. ECW. ECW.
Is that shit for the video we saw the other day of Aubrey Marcus,
Probably.
What?
where he has sword fights?
It kind of
at
looks like
his,
a bamboo
weird
stick, yeah.
retreats,
Oh.
sword stick fights, and they're like, there's no, like, they're not doing anything real, like form wise. They're just like swinging at each other like fucking 11.
Well, he's very graceful in his like practice, but when it comes to
Yeah.
actual combat, it's just like swing for the fences.
Yeah. All home
It's
runs.
just like, yeah. In his yard, he's like, whoa, and then in the fight, he's like, ha, 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 ha.
Because that's how it works.
Form goes out the window. Everybody's got a plan until they get hit in the face with a kendo stick.
Politics, all that stuff, just goes out the window when that first bullet flies past your head.
Basically, the sticks were customarily hardened at the point by repeatedly soaking them in boiling oil and then sharpened. Because of this, people typically wore an iron helmet, and a lot of people started wearing like chainmail to make sure they didn't die from getting poked too hard.
Yeah, it sounds like a spear, basically.
Yeah, they also started adopting leather and wooden shields as well. The battles themselves were staged and fought without any formal or written regulations, though no details survive of the actual combats. Like, as far as rules go, we can imagine the jumbled crowds of men with sharp sticks stabbing and striking, even without intent to injure, would be a quite dangerous activity because, yeah, they're hitting each other with sharp sticks.
I mean, so like essentially at the very, like you're like getting cut. You know what I mean? And then this paintball is not quite that bad, but like, I mean, you can get lit up pretty good in paintball. Like it'll draw blood if you get shot near enough to the gun and
Oh, totally. Like,
at close enough range or
like,
whatever. And
typically you're only getting welts, which
Right.
a lot of these people did. Like, typically, injuries typically range from scratches and sprains mostly, but there are always the knocked out teeth. Another really common thing, though, was dislocated jaws.
of course,
Yeah, and then gouged out eyes. And
that's third.
the worst one where people would be crippled because they'd have their rib cages smashed and their legs trampled on.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah,
I mean, they're on a bridge. There's nowhere for you to go.
exactly.
You fall down. If someone cuts your fucking Achilles or something, you know what I mean? Like just you fall down. I mean, look, the battle's got to go on.
And you talked about this earlier, but a slap fight turning into a real fight. So the tension of the events ran high, and the sight of a single dagger drawn in anger, as opposed to the approved weapons of the fight, could instantly cause 100 others to be pulled into the brawling from the crowd. Basically, if people saw you pulling some street shit in one
Your
of these
homies
things,
hop in.
Yeah.
you'd get your ass jumped. Yeah, like 100 people would just be like, no.
Approve of that.
Or I wonder if they were ever like your side was losing and you're just like, he pulled the dagger out, and then you just everyone runs in and
Yeah,
kills him.
pretty much. I mean,
Boy
like,
who called dagger.
Yeah, the boy who cried dagger. Well, it doesn't matter though because you killed everybody.
yeah.
You got what you wanted.
I mean, it was largely considered a bitch move to pull an actual like weapon.
Right.
That was not one of the, I guess, sanctioned
It's like,
weapons of
look,
the bridge
man.
fight.
I get that you can't walk anymore and your jaw's broken forever and you lost an eyeball, but you need to pulling a dagger,
Come on, guy.
buddy.
This is just make 'em ups.
You're just
The skater kids would always
crippled
do that.
blind guy now. There's no reason to.
Skater kids in Philly would always bring knives and brass knucks to fights.
brass knuckles, man. That's a
You gonna use it, dude?
it's a coward move. One, I don't think anyone that's ever I'll take this back immediately. I don't think any kid that's ever pulled brass knuckles out knows what's gonna happen.
Right, we're 15, man. Why you got brass knucks?
It's like you're going to jail.
Well, you can get those at a freaking gas station. You can literally get them at the gas station up there, at the Valero.
But
They sell brass knuckles for some reason.
there's only two kinds of people that own brass knuckles. People
Women?
that no,
Well, for protection.
I guess, but like I guess there's only two kinds of dudes that own brass knuckles. The ones that very much intend on killing the person with them.
And William Regal. Another wrestling reference that you guys don't get.
Nope, sure don't.
Sure don't.
Power of the punch, baby.
Yeah. The other person I was going to say is the ones that don't realize how fucked they are if they get caught with them in a fight.
All that stuff is like super illegal in Texas, including, ironically, they're like, hey, just buy a gun.
Seriously.
Because you're not allowed to have a knife that's bigger than the palm of your hand or whatever.
Something weird like that. There's also like women aren't even allowed to carry like sharp things. It's not brass knuckles, but it's like a key, something you put on your keychain, and then you can put it in between your fists and kind of like
Gouge.
punch. I mean, it's enough that you don't want to mess with it. It's like you don't want to get scratched by a fucking cat type of situation.
Yeah.
But that's illegal. and it's not big, and you would have to do a lot of work to make it lethal, and
That's wild to me that that's legal, but like,
no, that's illegal.
Or no, that's illegal, but just emptying a clip in someone that's coming at you is fine.
For real, dude. Like, there's people that just like, you're basically like incentivizing people who either don't want to own a gun or maybe shouldn't own a gun to just like, oh well, I guess I have to get a gun.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean,
does it seem smart? Just let him have the other weapon.
Yeah, I don't know. Then you get a whole Britain situation where everyone just gets stabbed.
I know,
and that's worse.
Worse.
It does. Like, I mean, I don't want to ever be shot or stabbed, but if I had to choose, I'm taking that bullet.
Getting shot.
Oh,
yeah.
There was a Reddit thread of, it's like a famous one, and it was essentially like people who have been both shot and stabbed, which is worse, and it was like 95% stab.
Yeah,
they were like, I didn't even realize I was shot.
No,
and then it hurt a lot. Whereas stabbed, there's like, I thought I was dead the instant I was stabbed. It was so horrible that I can't even explain it. The breath left me. It was cold and painful, and
yeah,
it was
no bullet. Like, a lot of people that get shot, like you said, don't know they've been shot. It's like, whoa, what was that? And then like they don't really even feel it until they see the bullet wound.
Yeah,
and then they're like, well, one, I guess it's like some sort of body shock that you get because it's like a hot bullet.
Well, and it's so fast.
Yeah. And also a lot of rounds that you're going to get shot with aren't like going to splinter and stuff. It's just like in you.
Yeah.
I don't know. Either way.
If we talk much further, everyone who owns a gun listening to this podcast is going to be like, you're a moron.
Yes.
Because we don't know what we're talking about.
No, I've never been shot or stabbed, nor do I volunteer to do either.
Nor do any of us own firearms or know much about them.
Well,
I own a gun.
do you?
It's in Philly, though.
Do
you don't own a gun.
So I don't own a gun here.
No.
You have a gun?
I think it's like a 22, isn't it?
No.
Oh,
You
is it
abandoned your
legit?
gun?
It's a hunting rifle, but
Oh, it was a rifle. It is a gun.
yeah.
Was it
Alright.
22?
No, it's bigger.
Oh, really? Interesting. I'll have to find out more about that later. Anyway, historian tells us that, quote, although individual aggression and vendetta often played a role in these violent encounters, the real motive of force behind the battles was the pursuit of group and personal honor, arising from an intense factional loyalty and rivalry that was strong enough to challenge even the absolutist powers of the Republic's central government.
So were these teams, you said they're like artisans, and basically it's the middle class, right?
It's tradesmen for the most part, yeah.
Which at that point is middle
the middle
class.
class, yes.
Is it like, Team Baker versus Team Blacksmith? Are the artisans sticking together, or is it more like neighborhoods?
A little B.
Okay.
Yeah, while some historians believe that the purpose of these fights stem from a need to blow off steam and aggression, others believe the real reason the fights began to happen in the 1300s was the pursuit of that group and personal honor that we just mentioned. While there was a central government in Venice at the time, there were many factions of association that still rivaled one another, and this format of conflict prevented tensions from boiling over to civil class war. So, like,
Yeah.
it prevented, basically, like, the Venetian government was like, all good, do that.
It's a light purge.
Yeah, basically.
It's Greek games. Just guys whacking each other with giant inflatable.
Yeah, but not inflatable.
I think there was one year that there was like dodgeball during Greek week, and that was not renewed for the next year.
We had a.
Did you not have intramural dodgeball?
No, we didn't.
That was a big thing at UCLA.
That was
But
big
you
in Europe,
guys
too.
were in school when like dodgeball was huge. Like I feel like when you guys were in school is when I saw like all my friends on Instagram and Facebook like being in a dodgeball league, like
Yeah,
a
that's
post grad
probably
like dodgeball league.
That's
and
still a thing.
it is, but it's not as big as it used to be.
So
I think you're
Theta,
just older.
What?
I think you're just older, and all of your friends are washed.
Yeah, now.
could be it.
Are you kidding me?
Theta had a big philanthropy called Theta Dodgeball at UF, and it got banned after a couple of years because it got violent.
Yeah.
Everyone would just fight in the parking lot.
Because you're
afterward.
up against a group of guys that you probably fucking hate.
Yeah.
Definitely want to beat. And, like, it's not like you're just, like, you're in some fucking Austin dodgeball league and you show up. It's just a group of strangers and you're like,
No.
all right, I'll try to win. It's like dudes you know or vaguely know and don't like, and you want to hurt them.
Because literally every fraternity has the same 12 dudes that play every sport.
Yeah. Oh, no, it's the IM kids.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, so we had.
You don't even know their name. You just know their face, and you hate them.
Yeah, you're like, oh, that's fucking KA's quarterback. Fuck that motherfucker.
We started a strategy for the last year of dodgeball where if it got down to one dude, he just sat on the ground and just held a ball in front of him. So you could never like really take him out.
Yeah.
But like if he thought he could catch it,
Get smaller.
he'd toss it and grab it
Yeah.
and like bring other people in. It caused fights because people were like, "That's pussy shit. You can't do that."
Yeah.
And they're like, "Well, he can't not do it. Like there's no rule against
Strategy,
it."
baby.
It's pretty bitch, but
Yeah.
it's annoying, but it's
We got to the semis
it
with
is
it.
what it is. Yeah.
Yeah, and then I think someone got in the guy's head. He's like, "You know what? Fuck you," and he got taken out.
Yeah, there's a similar strategy in like gaming for like strategy games and shit like that people get pissed off about. Where if you are especially at a disadvantage, or if you're just a bitch from the outset, it's called turtling, and you set up in like the corner of the map, so you can't be flanked.
Oh,
People do that in Call of Duty, I think.
I'm sure they do that too, but
Yeah.
in like bigger where you're in
First-person
command of an
shooters.
army or whatever, like the people, if you do that,
I think the worst case
You
of
will not
all
get invited
this,
back.
I remember, I think it was Sigma Nu would always try to get teams to jump off sides and
Oh,
just
really?
move up 5 yards at a time in flag football. They're having hard counts in flag football.
in
That's
our
pretty funny.
in our softball championship my senior year, the team we were playing, I think it was Sigma Chi, they must have taken 20 walks.
Oh yeah, that was infuriating. We're in the championship in softball too, and also our one pitcher that pitched the entire year walked like 40 kids.
Yeah, but the strike zone is hilariously small. You have to land it on like a thin mat.
You have to throw it a certain height.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like all hittable ball. It's just like, be a man. What are you doing here?
Swing. Never take.
Well, you could take a pitch or
No,
two.
never take a walk in slow
Oh
pitch
no, never
softball.
take a walk. Unless, I mean, it has to be like the dude is missing by 8 feet for you to not swing at it. Like you can, but you could take a pitch for sure.
You
to
get the 3 balls, it's like I'm swinging no matter what.
Yes.
Yeah.
have I told the story about how we hollowed our bats for softball?
No.
We shaved our bats. Yeah.
That's funny.
We won.
It'd be funny if you killed someone.
We just from line driving it.
You just took a pitcher's head off.
We had kids no business hitting dingers out there.
Oh,
Just,
I'm
it was
sure.
amazing. Anyway, Renaissance historians trace the Venetian factional rivalries back to immigrants of the Rialtine Islands. Rialtine Islands? I don't know. Reports survive of pretend battles from as early as 810 between factions armed with sharp sticks. So this is kind of where it all started, was back, like, even further back from 1300. So 500 years before the bridge thing, they were still fighting with sticks. They just got a little classy about it.
Okay.
While fighting squads at the battles were typically composed of 40 or 50 men from the same neighborhood or same occupation. So there you go, Rob. Either it was bands of tradesmen or bands of people from the same neighborhood.
Do you think it was like Pinewood Derby where everybody would get a block and you could like shave your sword or your stick and then somebody would just come with a giant fucking 2x4?
Like, yeah, everyone got the same block of wood to make their stick out of, but, like, there's one asshole that just put a handle on the board.
Yeah.
It's like, I just got a bat. Probably. I mean,
I
like
just got a plank. I'm gonna
like
hit
I
you with
said,
this
though,
plank.
everyone had their own stick. Like, it wasn't like they just went and found them that day. Like, everyone had, like, that's my fighting stick.
Yeah, they got their special stick.
Yeah, so probably to an extent. I don't think they had like standardized sticks, but to carve from.
It's like that dude in Gangs in New York, Brendan Gleeson's character in Gangs in New York. He's just got his bashing club.
Yeah, pretty much. That's I would assume it's very much like Pinewood Derby though in that regard, where everyone's kind of got their own panache, their own pizzazz on their stick.
It's all actually, most of them just have flames on the sides.
Just pretty much.
Yeah.
block on wheels.
I'm not looking forward to doing that. Dad, are you ready to make my Pinewood Derby car with me?
Dude, just take it over to Veronica and Taylor's house. They'll make a sick one.
Like, we're going to have the lesbians
Honestly,
do
just
it.
show your kids that Boy Scout documentary on Netflix.
Yeah, I know. I almost brought that up yesterday because Courtney was like, I know you don't want to go camping because I know you hate camping, even though you were a Boy Scout and camped all the time as a kid. But Rory's going to be in Boy Scouts, Finn's going to be in Boy Scouts, and you are going to go on those trips. And I was just like, so, I mean, I was like, I had the remote, and I was ready to
Courtney, take a seat.
Yeah.
Why don't you pull up a chair? You want to learn about sexual abuse in the largest boys organization?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's bad.
These
Well,
people really put the knot in knot tying.
yikes. The two main factions formalized in 1548 were the Castellani and the Nicolati. There's also another faction, the Paluani. They were known for arriving at bridges in military order with their squads dressed in matching uniforms. So some people really...
they were full kit wankers.
They were tryhards.
They were, what was it that Dakota used to make fun of? It was like the dudes who were never in the military but would be fully kitted
Go fully
up.
dressed.
Yeah. These dudes that like kit
Full
the fuck
kits.
out.
For what?
Just military
Just to
cosplay.
live that life. Like
The people that never served once do that?
yeah,
Oh.
a lot. There is a whole subset of people.
It's kind of like...
They're the ones who are the loudest. Like, I'm ready for the Civil War, man.
I know, but at the same token, like, I'm kind of scared of fat dudes with guns.
Yeah, they're
Because
the
you ever
fastest
see
to
those
use it.
videos? They're always the most accurate.
Mm.
I think it's just they have their own center of gravity because they're a planet.
I saw that one video where that fat guy shot well. I do not think that there is a whole series of fat guys.
Dan saw one video and he assumed every fat
lighting
guy...
up fucking targets. I read a great fucking article about the start of the Ukraine war. I think it was in the Atlantic, and it was like, dude, like this guy, like this Ukrainian dude was like, the first round of like foreign volunteers that showed up, it's mostly Americans, and it was all these like fucking fat bikers and ex-cops. They were doing coke constantly. A gun would discharge in their tents like every 2 hours. He was like, most of them left the first time they were shelled.
Oh, of course
By
they
like a
were.
mortar.
Yeah, because it's like, it's not just pew-pews, man.
Yeah.
It's whistle bangs. Like, it's what we got out here.
Most people in Ukraine, just like most people in World War I and shit like that, they're not getting killed by bullets.
No. They're getting taken off the face of the earth by fucking air.
Yeah,
they're getting killed with kindness.
That's it. That's
kindness is Russian for artillery.
Artillery shells. Kindness. Anyway, loyal to one's faction was highly prized. Faction members caught turning coat or changing sides to help through a fight could expect violent reprisal or, at worst, assassination.
So they shoeless Joe'd it? They threw the game?
Yeah, so if they're like, because believe it or not,
Gambling, baby.
there is money involved in
Of
who will
course
win
there
these.
is.
And largely,
Wait, is there a purse?
and it's never mentioned if there's a purse or not, but there's definitely side bets.
Okay.
Yeah, there's
going on.
some dude taking action.
And this is prior to, there's no Pete Rose situation where you didn't get banned from the fucking stick fighting league.
Betting
Yeah.
on your own team.
Yeah.
You're not getting banned from the bridge. The bridge welcomes all.
Right.
Yeah, weeks before the event, detailed arrangements would be made to prepare the teams for the contest. The passion for this martial festival on these common bridges swept up the entire city.
Could you imagine the degenerates, though, back then? Be like, I know they're down 3 men, but I love the juice on it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
They're like plus 400.
But there is live betting, right? I mean, like you see it all the time in old movies where it's like there's like a boxing match and some guy gets punched in the face 5 times in a row, and they're like, I want my money on him now, and they're like, all right, 5-1 odds. And yeah, I mean, it's bookies. I think they're just making it up, but yeah, I guarantee you could live. In fact, it was probably mostly live bets.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably like right before it happened. You see them come out and get to the bridge, and then you're like, them.
They're
Yeah.
down to 1 man. Oh, he's going into berserker mode.
Oh,
He's turtling. He's turtling.
He sat on the bridge, which I gotta imagine would be a terrible move. You just get stabbed by 30 dudes.
Starts to Hulk up.
Yeah. On the appointed day, vendors and food hawkers would also swarm to the bridge sites. The fans of the events were as obsessive as any modern sports fan. For one afternoon, the bridge became an arena.
I mean, shit don't change, man.
So it's very much like college football, if you think about it. Like,
Not everything's college football, Jake.
shut up. You take that back.
Not everything's college football or fraternity life.
No,
For
you
us,
take it back.
Pretty much is.
So you're not excited about, like, a week or two from now?
You know, not really, no. Looked at our schedule, so no.
We did just look at UCF's schedule. And
We can go
decided it.
past this. It
Yeah.
doesn't matter. Just a lot of spooky towns, Rob. A lot of spooky towns.
Boo-hoo.
Just bad. Road trips I don't want to take.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, do you have a hard schedule?
Yeah.
Boo hoo. Look at our schedule.
Oh,
This
yeah.
works.
Yours is
We're not
awful.
doing this. We're not doing this.
Yeah, the people don't care, but your schedule is you're so fucked.
Every year. Once the battle began, the water below the bridge would be jam-packed with barges and boats and
What are
gondolas.
those things called?
Gondolas.
Where you get serenaded?
Yes,
By the
gondolas.
guy with a stick.
Yeah. People
We're at the bridge of fire.
I mean, you're not wrong. Like,
Yeah.
people would pay the gondolas to get right under the action.
Hell yeah, dude.
So basically, the only water that was available was underneath the bridge.
But,
like,
so if you fell off, it was
you're
gonna
falling in
hurt.
a boat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I actually don't think those seats would be as good as you think. You'd get to see gnarly shit if people fell off, and you can see the edge. So, like, one time I went to a Royals game, and I was in the dugout suite, and that sounds dope, right? Like, we are in a dugout right next to the Royals dugout, right next
You
to the
get
Major League
smoked?
dugout. No, there's netting, but
No netted in here.
it's
What if somebody gets thrown off the bridge, just falls on you?
yeah, you're gonna
that
die.
was actually
100%.
a
How
risk.
tall? Now the bridges aren't that big.
Yeah, but you think it come right on your head?
All right, think about it. They got a sharp stick, and they're wearing like iron helmets, and
You need that perfect landing to kill you.
They'll fuck you up. They'll fuck you up.
it'd
Either way.
probably hurt you.
The point is, though, it was harder to see the game from the dugout, I felt, than from an elevated spot.
Yeah. So I mean, think about it this way: like, people though would like get shit that fell off and like take it.
That's dope.
Yeah, floor seats for like a UFC fight suck.
Do they?
Yeah, because the fucking cage is up.
Oh yeah, no, and that's the thing too. Like, and if you watch any baseball game, when the players are watching the game, they're up over the railing, but we couldn't do that. We were eye level was like the ground.
Yeah,
I
probably
couldn't-
liability, right? You can't get up.
100%.
Yeah. The crowd too would often become riotous, pumped up by the wine that they were being hawked by shady street vendors.
Hell yeah.
Sometimes they might begin throwing roof tiles off. Actually, this was really common. They would begin throwing roof tiles off of nearby balconies, stripping them almost entirely bare in the process. So, more often than not, during bridge fights, people watching from the balconies around the bridge would just start stripping tiles off and hurling them at teams they wanted to lose.
Fuck yeah, dude. That sounds like the best job.
It's pretty cool.
I don't want to be like, I'm not really great with a stick, but I got a fucking cannon, dude, and I will whip tiles. By the way, that's got to kill your property value.
Yeah, no,
It's just like, you got a great view of the bridge fight, so that's fun. It's like, but don't people get on your roof? And no.
don't worry about it.
It's definitely not like the houses.
No, they had a vendor. The guy's just going around. Tile here.
tile.
Get your tile.
Roof
like-
tile.
It's like the classic DC brick salesman, you know? Just get your bricks.
Bricks.
Riot bricks. Anyway, more than one event was halted because of the trouble that the roof tile throwing was causing.
Look, you need to testudo it. You need to actually turtle it. You need shields over your head.
I mean, seriously, like it was a huge risk to not wear a helm out once the tiling started.
I'm fucking sure.
Yeah,
If you're going out there, if you're raw dogging it on that bridge, you're a fucking lunatic.
but
Raining clay.
but not wearing a helm was also very well respected.
You're
People
just
were
a
like,
badass.
people were like, that guy doesn't wear a helmet.
I don't give a fuck.
It's kind of like the kicker with the 1-bar helmet that still rocks. Everyone's like, that guy's a fucking real kicker right
Yeah.
there. Yeah.
Although I will say, if I see like a motorcyclist without a helmet, my only thought ever is,
No, how cool was Lou Gehrig not wearing a helmet?
pretty cool. I was corrected, by the way, on that. The getting beamed did not cause his ALS, but
I can't imagine it helped.
it didn't. So it can exacerbate it and bring it on. Bring it early onset or bring it on earlier, but it will not.
It's not the cause.
Right, it's there already.
I thought it was just a wild coincidence that he got that.
What?
It was called Lou
It was
Gehrig's
called Lou
disease.
Gehrig's
Yeah,
disease.
right. Before
Wild.
yeah.
There was
How'd they know?
there was an exec board scene I wrote, but never we never produced it. Where like they were raising money to fight Lou Gehrig's disease, and they didn't understand what they were doing, so they just burned Lou Gehrig in effigy, thinking it was his disease that he created.
The progressive research that Lou Gehrig did in his off time. Yeah, well, as
Just
well.
gain of function for
Gain of
ALS.
function. Yeah, right. Yeah. You know that damn Lou Gehrig with his beakers and lab coat. Well, as well, gentlemen viewing from opposing box seats, and box seats is very loose, mainly other people's balconies.
I mean, it just sounds like like a New Orleans Mardi Gras situation, or like those apartments across the street from Wrigley.
Yeah, pretty much those. Yeah. They might loudly exchange words and insults, which could lead to swords being drawn then and there,
Hell yeah.
or an arranged duel would occur afterwards. And actually, the amount of pissed off people during the bridge fights led to a second act, which was just everyone that wanted to duel after, because everyone was horned up for violence.
God, can you imagine how many duels you would get in, like at the if the Georgia and Florida tailgates were next to each other at the cocktail party?
I mean, that sometimes happens, and it's bad.
Happens quite
I
often.
thought you guys are in two separate.
No, once you get to the stadium, it's all
It's
over the place.
Jacksonville.
Yeah.
Just
Is
kinda-
it the day before
The
parties?
day before. So St.
Oh.
Simon's is Georgia, and then I think St. Aug Beach is Florida.
Okay.
Yeah. So if the pregame one, if we were all on the same beach the day before, it'd be bloodbath.
Every day. It would
Yeah.
just be fucking Omaha Beach.
Yeah. Actually, funny story from Florida, Georgia last year. My friends bought a bunch of bird seed because there's seagulls out by
Right.
Altel or whatever the stadium is, Everbank. And they'd go by the Georgia tailgates and just throw a bunch of bird seed down.
That's fucking great.
So, they had a couple videos where just seagulls were swarming these different Georgia tailgates. Yeah, it's just a high level of petty that I
Why
appreciate.
would you not do that every time?
I think they're going to start doing it a lot, but they're going to get their asses kicked if they ever get caught.
Oh my god, that's so funny.
I'll give you one guess who it is.
Yeah, I know who it is.
Yeah.
It's the guy who took out whippets 5 seconds into your bachelor party.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much. Yep, him. As early as 1505, the Venetian council, in the name of public order, began to punish those who assembled to fight after the bridge wars. Supplies of sticks had to be secured and hidden between events, but like laws against dueling, their efforts largely went ignored and were often repeated. Gangs of armed youths would get caught up and find the sticks, and in the excitement, would frequently rumble with their rivals or the police. There's also the story of this one dude. I love this guy, Tonin. He was a tailor from San Luca who in the 1630s gathered about him at his expense, this is in quotes, gathered about him at his expense a large gang of youths with whom he decided to assault and kill many.
This honestly might be my best or my favorite recurring theme throughout history is unchecked youths.
You gotta watch out for the youths.
Yeah.
They cause so much destruction.
Well, the youths, one, they're small, so they can find the hidden sticks. Then they get the sticks. Then they have the power.
They go into little crevices.
They pop out of tiny corridors, stab, stab.
Every era has their skater kids.
Yeah. In the 17th century Venice, it was youths with sticks.
Yeah.
But, so this one tailor, I guess, had enough money. He's like, I'm going to hire all of these youths, and then everyone will listen to me. He was eventually killed.
So that's like City of God, right? Where it's just like all those kids are in there, like
the favela or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, it's kind of like, I think of it like Game of Thrones with the little, the little birds?
Sparrows?
The sparrows. Yeah, the high scepter or high, whatever.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about. He just recruited all the little street urchins. Pretty much that. Excuse me. Due to the state's opposition to the disorder caused by these popular pastimes, in 1600, sticks were banned. Instead,
Ooh.
they became full-on fistfights on the bridge.
That is gotta be worse. Well, maybe not.
Well, there's a reason why they banned sticks. And it wasn't just that. One reason for the transition from sticks to fists.
How do you think sticks are like?
They're not worse.
No,
They're
no,
not.
No,
They're not worse. And we're going to talk about that.
sticks are very much worse.
No, sticks are not worse.
The fists are worse.
The fists are worse.
No,
Yes. So, one reason for the transition from sticks to fists supposedly occurred in 1585 when one faction ran out of sticks during the stick
Were
fight.
they throwing them?
But
I guess they break.
they break. But continued to fight unarmed, and the other faction matched them. Ironically, this was not out of honor, but because they could no longer fence with their opponents and were instead being punched in the face and chest so hard
just
that they
going
were
bare
like,
knuckle.
well,
Yeah.
they were like still trying to hit them with their sticks.
But they were just like slapping them away and then
yeah,
punch them in their
turns
fucking
out a
face.
hand against a stick, if you don't make contact with a stick, that stick's fucked. You get to pull it away. And they're like, well, shit.
Yeah, it
Right.
turns
Gotta
out
fight.
though most people break their hands punching,
Because they don't know how to
so
punch
you
right.
get one punch. A lot of people will just be like, "Oh, dude."
Yeah.
Because the injuries from fist blows were readily seen to be more significant, the other side cast away its weapons. This eventually led to a different style of fighting completely and a shift in interest to one-on-one boxing. So, get this. Stick fighting kind of led to the proto-precursor to what we now call stand-up boxing.
Shit.
I'm gonna call it bullshit.
Oh yeah.
I'm pretty sure boxing's been around much longer.
But in an organized manner, like, it's been around
Mhm.
for a long time, but in Italy, it led to it.
No,
Like, as a spectator sport in Venice, at least, maybe.
perhaps that, yes.
Okay, we'll
But
reduce it.
if we have wrestling that dates back to ancient Greece,
Yeah, no, there's.
boxing's been around much longer.
Yeah,
Like,
you're
or
probably
at
right.
least as long as wrestling.
I'll look it up later.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just don't want us to get caught out again.
No, that's okay.
With like your income tax bullshit.
As I read that, it sounded wrong, but I was going to stick with it.
We're here to have takes.
Yeah.
And that's my take.
His take is my take is wrong. That's fine.
You're a fool.
Because of this, the Venetians became well known for their boxing skills by the late 1600s. Slavic, Dalmatia, and Schiavoni soldiers were regularly thrashed and thrown into water by the jabbing skills of Venetian boxers.
In actual combat?
In like fights, yeah, basically.
No, but so not in
no, like skirmishes. Like not
in political warfare.
No, like when they were in Venice and they'd get in fights.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
They'd be drunk and they'd be like, all right, I'm going to fight to you. And then they just get their shit kicked in.
Yeah, basically. So what would happen is like the Venetian boxer would be talking shit to like a Slavic soldier, and the Slavic soldier, I guess, would get disarmed pretty quickly by the Venetian boxer.
Mhm.
And then when it came to fisticuffs, they couldn't fight very well. They would like kind of just flail their arms around.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah, because like the Venetians were so trained, I guess, generally in fighting each other on bridges with their fists, they became really good fighters.
But only on bridges.
Right.
Yeah, if it was open land, they were fucked.
You put them in a field and they don't know what to do.
Yeah. It's like, where's the water?
Yeah. It's like, just pretend it's a very...
You can attack me from this side? Goddamn.
Whoa. Like, shit.
Eventually, one-on-one boxing began to take place before the general bridge assaults. These duels became more and more popular. They began to go bare-chested, wrapping their shirts around their waists to protect their kidneys from punches. So very much imagine like,
Below the belt.
yeah, and now what a boxer looks like. They have like kind of the waist wrap.
Yeah.
They're shirtless.
High waist.
Yeah, I mean,
Shorts pulled up to the however fucking
belly
high.
button or whatever. Yeah, and I agree, boxing definitely did exist in other places before this, but this is kind of how it developed in Venice from stick fighting.
Listen, everyone knows the only Italian that boxed was Rocky Marciano.
He wasn't Venetian, though.
But he's Italian.
He was Italian. That's true. That is true. The fighters would typically wear one padded glove of soft or hardened leather on their right hand.
So boxing first appeared as a formal Olympic sport in 688 BC.
Okay. So
Yeah.
the Venetians were just way behind, I guess, on this shit because they would do their own version of boxing.
Sorry, I just had to fucking correct you on that.
No, that's okay.
Like, it was so fucking wrong.
I will be completely fair. To be fair to all of you.
I wasn't going to fact check anything. I was just like, oh.
No, because it's Jake, and it's not me in the chair.
Yeah, it's gospel until the comments come out for me. No, I will, to be completely fair, I drank a bunch of NyQuil last night. So
Yeah, you fucking
can
sound
tell.
like it.
no, but this is from actual documents. I don't know why they were doing boxing like this then, but yeah,
If
We're gonna find
sounds
out.
wrong,
We're
it's
gonna find
probably
out
wrong.
in 2 days that stick fighting never existed. Jake just read like a fan fiction forum.
No, I can confirm that stick fighting this. I'm familiar with this because of Assassin's Creed 2. It's the opening scene with Ezio.
oh, they do. They really do a stick fight.
It's essentially like it's what you're describing.
I like
Okay.
that. Honestly, and I like me and you have a like huge chunk of our historical knowledge coming from
video games.
we've played. Yeah,
Yeah, mine's just fever dreams.
yeah.
Apparently. No, but yeah, so sometimes their gloves are even secretly sewn with lute strings so as to rapidly bloody an opponent's face. The object of the fight was not to score a knockout or to deliver powerful punches, but to bloody the opponent by a hit to the nose, lip, or face. So I'm starting to think this is just like a completely different boxing sport they have.
So is it like first blood wins or just like most blood?
It's pride rules.
yeah.
It
It's whoever does the most damage.
it kind of is that because they're doing one-handed fist fighting, basically. I don't know, like, and get this.
Oh,
So-
it's Dana White's slap league, power slap.
but it kind of, yeah, that's what
You
it
get
sounds
a
like.
hit, I get a hit.
Because in these boxing matches, the crowds evidently were most pleased by contestants who stood their ground and took blows to their face unflinchingly. Striking out cleanly with too much dancing or fencing around was kind of the goal here. So
Two for
it's like,
flinching.
yeah, basically 2 for flinching. Where it's like if you flinched or just didn't take the punch to the face, you were a bitch. Defensive skills were thought
Okay,
not-
I will agree with you, Rob. The sticks probably were better. The sticks were better. If you're
You're
gonna let a
allowed
man,
to defend yourself.
if you're letting a man punch you in the face,
Yeah.
sticks are better.
Defensive skills were looked down on as not admirable
This
because
was-
they were not displays of courage.
So this is Floyd Mayweather would be awful in this. He'd be booed off the fucking
The man that's never been hit
yeah.
actually having to take a punch.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much. So yeah, this isn't the proto precursor to boxing, obviously, because that
No, it's
started.
Dana White's power slap.
Yeah, this is the proto precursor to power slap. I stand corrected, but still, I kind of want to watch this too, like just two dudes with one glove each, just punching each other back and forth in the face.
Dude, I got to introduce you to this thing called Fight Circus.
Yes.
They'll have two men in one shirt, and they each have one arm, fight another group of two men
What?
in one shirt.
Wait. So it's like a potato sack on the upper body, basically, like
yeah.
a sack
And you
race?
each get one arm with your partner, and you fight two other men with
So-
one arm
So
each.
one guy gets to punch, and the other guy's just there.
No, you each get one arm,
Yeah.
Oh, so one guy gets left, one guy gets right.
Yeah.
What?
and they have a. It's not just that too. It's crazy shit like that.
Yeah.
Every fight's different.
send me
it's
links.
the best, one of the best named pieces of content I've ever heard of in my life.
Fight Circus?
Yeah.
No, that's. Please link us. Can we just watch that on Thursday?
We should do that for Patreon. Just
Yeah.
do like a Fight Circus pay-per-view.
Well, despite all the ferocity and display, the fights were fairly benign affairs and ended with an embrace and, in the most Italian fashion, a fraternal kiss.
Oh, I
Right.
hate that though. I hate it when I see fighters that are just like bros right afterwards. I want hate in the ring, in the octagon.
You gotta flip him off after like Ian Gary last night.
Oh, did he do that? We're past that. We're passing that. We don't talk about fighting. That's lame. By the late 1600s, there was only room for one form of fighting, and once the stick fighting fell out of popular favor, it could not exist alongside the very different fist fighting that they were accustomed to now. The bridge stick fights represent an interesting part of martial sports in European history and shed insight on a rarely considered aspect of Western martial culture. And although limited almost exclusively to bridge venues, I really wish they still did it so I could see it.
I want it so bad. That's all I want.
What'd you guys learn today?
Learn that we could have had such a cooler sport.
Yeah. Can you imagine like UF versus Georgia or UCF versus USF?
And I don't want the shits to go back to the LARPing stuff. Like, I'm sure you guys have seen videos of like, they will do like medieval combat where like if you get hit in the leg, you're legless now. You know, you got to stand on one leg and
No, dude, they have straight up medieval battles like in a boxing ring.
I've seen them where it's like a livestock pavilion, like basically in a bull ring.
Mhm.
Yeah, that shit looks
They
crazy.
still do that.
Yeah.
I want real shit.
It's crazy. It doesn't catch on. It is
doesn't.
real shit.
It
It's
is
real
re-
swords.
No, people get like
Okay.
knocked the fuck out because
Yeah.
they get their bell rung so hard in the
Yeah.
helmet. Yeah, I've seen those. It is nuts. Like I would never do it.
And that is, I honestly, I'm pretty sure that's how, if you did die in combat, especially if you were in like full armor, it's more likely like you really just you got a blow that like disoriented the fuck out of you, and then you just can't defend yourself anymore. Like
Yeah.
you're not getting like your head chopped off or run through typically.
I mean,
Either that or you're getting killed in the retreat.
I was about to say you're probably getting your head crushed more than anything. Yeah.
Right.
What'd you guys learn?
I told you I learned. I wish the sport still fucking existed.
We have always enjoyed others just beating the hell out of each other.
Yeah, I mean, there is something so visceral about. I don't really like MMA, but like a good hit in football.
Oh yeah, man.
No, but there's no. I have to imagine there's no greater feeling than knocking somebody out cold in front of a crowd of like 20,000 people.
I'm sure.
Oh yeah. Can you imagine like
And then tossing them onto a gondola.
I was about to say,
Getting like
And-
a belt strapped around you. Yeah.
yeah, and you just get to throw them over a bridge.
You
and
can do
everyone
that, too.
freaks out. That'd be fun as shit. Who's Hitler?
no one.
I'm gonna say the guy that converted stick fighting into power slap league.
The Venetian Council, essentially.
Yeah, that guy sucks. I guess the guy who randomly raised an army of children.
Tonin?
Yeah.
The tailor? Yeah. I could see him because people got him killed.
I guess always in these stories the youths. The
The
youths.
youths,
Are Hitler.
Yeah.
the youths are
Teens.
Hitler.
Tweens and teens.
Teens are Hitler.
Skater kids. Skater kids are Hitler today.
Yeah, I'll agree with that. Well, That's it for my stick fighting story. Hope you all enjoyed it. Again, check out our Patreon at patreon.com/softcorehistory.
2 additional episodes every week.
And a huge back catalog of evergreen content.
Plenty of hours on there. Make sure to go to Apple and Spotify. Leave a review. 5 stars if you can.
Oh, we have a review I want to read.
Read it.
We have a bunch of reviews. Read like 3 of them.
I will. There's one that was really funny that I was saving for when Jake was back.
Okay. So, yeah, if you're on
great.
Apple, leave the
Great.
review. Write it. That really helps us climb up the charts because everything is just manipulated by reviews and really not listens.
That's all it is. Yeah. This is it. This is from P. Matson. Greatest podcast of the last 50 years. Somehow, some way, I've learned more listening to this podcast than anywhere else. I've been listening to the Evergreen back catalog for months now, and I still have hundreds more to consume. I can't get enough of Don, Ron, and Jeff. It is truly an outstanding podcast. It's very entertaining and surprisingly informative. Modern mastery at its finest. Just Don, Ron, and Jeff just fucking killed me.
That's good. Well,
I definitely put out Don vibes right now.
do.
with the mustache.
You always do. Let's see who else wrote some here.
Let's go to the top. There's like 2 new reviews.
Yeah.
I do like the one that the guy left us 4 stars.
Yeah,
like, just
Tank the
in
Frank.
spite of us.
Tank the Frank, give the
Good
people
name.
more banter. 4-star review. Please don't do 4. Please do 5.
Do 5, please.
Love the pod, boys, but sometimes there's too much history and not enough banter. That's a response to a couple 1-stars we got about too much banter.
But imagine these people that probably earnestly came across us and thought they were getting a history podcast.
About something that they were like, I mean, one of the 1-stars, or the low ones.
They're like, we really enjoy the topics, but there's like 15 minutes of history in
yeah,
this.
the info is good, but if you cut out the banter, you'd get maybe 15 minutes of content. It's very broy and detracts from the good info they are trying to present. It's hilarious that he's like,
you think we're
they're
trying?
their own worst enemies. They're so smart and well informed,
We're
but they
not.
just keep
They're
giving us.
trying to present good info, but they can't do
They
it.
can't get out of their own way.
and then the other
shit.
o's like very similar to that.
Yeah, for sure.
They're like exactly the same. The
Yeah.
reviews.
It's almost as if it's the same person.
Yeah, is it great? And then Stoner Einstein, great show. I think there's some history, but who cares? There's enough witty banter to keep you entertained. Perfect if you want to learn a little without sitting in a lecture.
That's the goal here, guys.
That's what we're here for.
Yeah,
Just a little knowledge. Well, maybe a laugh.
maybe a chuckle, maybe a learn. Who knows? You laugh, you learn.
You
Anyway,
get something new every
And
every
I
week.
am so sorry if you came here solely to learn about Venetian stick fighting today.
if you had a paper on it,
Truly apologize.
If you've made it this far,
yeah, kudos to you. But hey, thanks for stopping by. Thanks for listening. For Ron Fox and Don Regester, I'm Jeff Goldman.
you just got soft served.